In fact, this was one of the boldest decisions that I have taken in the last 10 years, I would say. Just imagine the conversation when I would walk up to my CEO and say, hey, I got a brilliant idea today. I have decided to drop our name, Mastercard, from our logo. And I keep joking, saying that then the look on the CEO's face is what I call priceless, right? But in a real sense, there is method behind this madness. A word is processed very differently by the brain compared to a visual or a symbol. And I'll give you an explanation which is not scientifically correct, but I'm using it only to demonstrate what I'm trying to say as the concept, right? If you look at the words or the text that goes through the cognitive part of the brain, whereas if you look at the visual, they go through the primal brain, which is more intuitive. It is more spontaneous, etc. So when you see the word tiger, you react in a particular way, if at all. And when you see a visual of a tiger, you react in a particular way. And when you see a real tiger, you react in a completely different way. So you got a complete spectrum. As a brand, we said we need to move towards the third direction, okay? Where we want motion, we want realism, we want immersion, and we want visual, not words. So the first step for that is to come up with a symbol brand that requires me to drop the name Mastercard. Number one. Number two, just imagine if you got a small, say, watch, which is now you got payments enabled watches. And that's going to be the future, where you have got Internet of Things and wearables, which all have a payment mechanism. The smaller the size of the screen is, the space allotted to each brand gets very tiny. So if you have got all the 4 payment brands, for example, and you got Mastercard amongst one of those 4, the word Mastercard takes a moment of space, but you can barely read it. And then on top of it, you got the logo, which is how people recognize it. If I take the word Mastercard and instead expand my symbol, it looks optically about 16 to 18% bigger than the other people. So the prominence, actually, it pops up. So when you do that, there is a practical utility. Likewise, when you take away the name of the company from the brand, a lot of translation becomes very easy around the world, particularly for a multinational like Mastercard. Language translation and governance around it is very critical. And the other point I would say is also, it gives you a sense of contemporariness, modernity. Aesthetically, it looks far superior. And so we did a whole bunch of analysis beforehand, and I eventually took the decision saying that, look, this is something I'll press the trigger on. But of course, I had to get the CEO's permission, and then we had to go to the board of directors, get their permission. And I had built the whole case in a very compelling fashion, and then we did it. Of course, I had my heart in my hands, prayers on my lips, so to speak, when we launched it, hoping that everything will go well. And touch wood, it has gone off extremely well. And it was rated as one of the best rebrands of the decade. And we are one of the very few brands which actually now are recognized even without the name of the brand written there.